Hi and welcome to my channel on quotes and this particular video on the 20 best inspirational quotes to help you through your day. I hope you like this video, so sit back and enjoy.
This quote is from Michelangelo. He was a 15th, 16th century Italian painter, sculptor, architect and poet. His quote is, "The greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark." This quote is from Mozart, who was a prolific and influential composer who produced more than 800 pieces of work before his death at the age of 35. The quote is, "I pay no attention whatever to anybody's praise or blame. I simply follow my own feelings." This next quote is from Julius Caesar, who was responsible for changing the course of history before he was assassinated in Rome in the year 44 BC. His quote was, "I came, I saw, I conquered." This quote is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was an American Baptist minister, activist, and prominent leader of the civil rights movement until his assassination in 1968. His quote is, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that." This next quote is from Mahatma Gandhi. He was an Indian lawyer, politician, social activist and writer, and considered the father of his country. His quote is, "Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will." This next quote is from Karl Marx. He was a German philosopher and best known for his writing The Communist Manifesto and Das Kapital. His quote is, "Men make their own history, but they do not make it as they please." This next quote is from Nikola Tesla. He was a Serbian-American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, as well as being a futurist. His quote was, "Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more." This quote is from Nelson Mandela. He was a South African anti-apartheid activist who later became the first black head of state for his country from 1994 until 1999. His quote is, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." This is a quote from John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the USA, who was assassinated in Dallas in 1963. His quote is, "Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or present are certain to miss the future." This next quote is from Maya Angelou. She was an American poet and civil rights activist. She was also the first African American woman to have her screenplay produced. Her quote is, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." This next quote is from Aristotle. He was an ancient Greek philosopher during the classical period in ancient Greece. His quote is, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom." This next quote comes from Charlie Chaplin. He was an English comic actor, filmmaker and composer during the era of silent films. His quote is, "Failure is unimportant. It takes courage to make a fool of yourself." This next quote comes from Winston Churchill. He was a British statesman, soldier and writer who served as British Prime Minister twice from from 1940 until 1945 during World War II, and again from 1951 to 1955. His quote is, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." This next quote comes from René Descartes. He was a French philosopher, scientist, and mathematician. His quote is, "I think, therefore I am." This next quote is from Sun Tzu. He was a Chinese military general, strategist, philosopher and writer, and the author of The Art of War. His quote is, "Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting." Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, also known as the last of the 5 good emperors. His quote is, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Khalil Gibran was a Lebanese-American writer, poet, and visual artist. His quote is, "Life without love is like a tree without blossoms or fruit." Socrates was a Greek philosopher and credited as the founder of Western philosophy. His quote is, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." Joan of Arc was a patron saint of France and honoured as a defender of the French nation during the siege of Orleans in 1429. Her quote is, "One life is all we have, and we live it as we believe in living it. But to sacrifice what you are and to live without belief, that is a fate more terrible than dying." Bob Marley was a Jamaican singer, musician and songwriter, the pioneer of reggae. His quote is, "Don't gain the world and lose your soul. Wisdom is better than silver or gold."
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed watching and the quotes were inspirational for you, can you show your appreciation by hitting the like button? In addition, if you would like to view more of my videos, simply hit subscribe and you will be notified whenever I publish a video. Thank you.
If there are any quotes that you would like me to include here, please add them in the comments section. I respond to all comments.